Many Christians believe that we have already been granted an eternal soul. This is a popular belief that brings comfort to many, but also strikes fear into the hearts of those who believe in hell after death. Before we continue, it's worth giving a very brief introduction into what the soul actually is. The soul, or nephesh in original Hebrew, means breath. God first made the body of men and then breathed the breath of life into them, thus creating us in his image. The soul is not just the body, and part of it appears to live on after death, as Ecclesiastes 12 verse 7 makes clear when it says, "Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return to God who gave it." The spirit and soul are slightly different words, but both reference something more than matter in all of us. It is not until the prophet Daniel that we have revealed to us that our soul lives on, or is judged after death. It says this in Daniel 12 verse 2 and 3, "Many of those who sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. Those who are wise shall shine like the brightness of the sky, and those who lead many to righteousness, like the stars forever and ever." Sounds pretty clear, doesn't it? But just because the soul or spirit lives on after we die, doesn't mean that it is eternal. In fact, God himself says in Ezekiel 18:4, "Behold, all souls are mine. As the soul of the Father, so also the soul of the Son is mine. The soul that sins, it shall die." God can kill the soul if he chooses to. The idea of an everlasting soul actually challenges God's power to destroy his own creations, which is of course ridiculous. Jesus reaffirms this idea when he says in Matthew 10:28, "Do not be afraid of those who kill the body but cannot kill the soul. Rather be afraid of the one who can destroy both soul and body in hell." The word destroy in Greek almost always means exactly what it says, and it's clear in this context what it means. The one, being the Father, can destroy the soul if he so chooses, but that doesn't mean that he will choose to destroy all of them. Many Christians will go to Revelation 20 verse 10 and say that this proves eternal punishment. Let's take a look at that verse. "And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever." Because it says that Satan, the false prophet, and the beast will be tormented forever, many have extrapolated that to mean that all who go there are treated the same way. This just isn't true. It tells us just a few verses down that each freed from the grave will be judged according to their deeds. Anyone who is not found written in the book of life will be thrown into the lake of fire, along with death and the grave, with an important clarifying remark: this means second death. As we dive deeper into the scriptures, we find ourselves questioning the nature of the lake of fire and the lake of fire and brimstone. Notice that Satan, the beast, and the false prophet were thrown into the lake of fire and brimstone, not just the lake of fire. Could it be that the lake of fire and brimstone signifies eternal punishment, whereas the lake of fire represents eternal death? This leads us back to Daniel 12 verses 2 and 3. If everyone not found written in the book is thrown into the lake of fire, then who is left for everlasting contempt and shame? Examining Daniel 12 verse 1, we find a clue. At that time Michael, the great prince who protects your people, will arise. There will be a time of distress, such as has not happened from the beginning of nations until then, but at that time your people, everyone whose name is found written in the book, will be delivered. This suggests that everyone mentioned in the preceding verses is in fact found in the book of life, even those destined for everlasting shame and contempt. It's a chilling thought, the idea that you don't necessarily have to be a good person to be written into the book of life, but merely believe in Jesus. This would mean that a multitude of unsavory souls have made it. While we can't be certain what this will look like in the future, it seems to make more sense when examining the scriptures as a whole. Regardless of the specifics, we can trust in God's justice. He will not destroy the undeserving, and he will not shame those who do not deserve it.